There is an integration portion. There is a formula for integration. The answer for this problem is equal to x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1, where n is not equal to minus 1. If n is equal to minus 1, you will get back like this. This is the equation. Integration of 1 by x dx is equal to log x to the base e. If you don't want to write base e, you can write like this. Integration of 1 by y dy is equal to log y. Integration of 1 by t dt is equal to log. No. Integration of dx is equal to x. Integration of dx is equal to x. Integration of dy is equal to y. Integration of dz is equal to z. Integration of dt is equal to t. Integration of dn is equal to n. Now, yesterday we have discussed about this. Radioactivity means from a radioactive substance. Maybe radioactive substance means radioactive substance in the sense which emits the alpha rays or beta rays or gamma rays continuously, spontaneously. It is emitting out from a heavy nucleus whose atomic number is greater than 82 and atomic mass number is greater than 206, which are occurring inside the earth crust, inside the nature, which are occurring. And these radiations, whatever it is coming out spontaneously, that phenomenon is called by the name natural radioactivity or radioactivity. This radioactivity will not be get influenced by any external agency, means temperature, maybe pressure, maybe something else. If you are adding, for example, radium is there. Radium, if you are making a powder, it will not change its activity. It is not changing. If you are changing the chemical composition of this one, the radioactivity will not change. One of the examinations, they asked this question. Okay, a radioactive source, radium, has been added with nitrous oxide at a temperature of 90 degrees centigrade. What happened to the radioactivity? Activity of the sample will not change. It remains same because it is not influenced by any external agency like that of temperature, pressure, or something else. It will not change. Now, alpha rays means it is a helium nucleus whose charge is +2, which is having largest amount of ionizing power. Beta rays are meaning is said to be fast moving electrons, E0 minus 1, the charge is equal to -1. Compared to this one, ionizing power is less. Gamma radiations whose charge is 0, therefore ionizing power almost equal to 0, but it is showing some amount of ionizing power, which are electromagnetic waves of shorter wavelength. Whereas kinetic energy, or maybe I can consider the penetrating power, if I'm considering, gamma radiations are having highest kinetic energy or highest penetrating power. Beta rays are having lesser penetrating power. Alpha rays are having still lesser penetrating power. This is a small concept regarding radioactivity. Now onwards, we are supposed to take up one by one derivations. The first derivation, today's. The first one, number 1, radioactive decay law. First, let us understand about radioactive decay law. What it states. Radioactive decay law, what it states. It states that before taking up the statement, let me consider about the explanation here. Radioactive decay law explanation. Let us consider this radioactive substance, which is containing 1000 number of atoms. A radioactive substance which is containing 1000 number of atoms in the beginning. In the beginning, I said, when the time is equal to 0, in the beginning, the number of atoms is equal to 1000 number of atoms. Again, once the time is go on increasing here, you will not get back this 1000, it is go on decreasing only. As the time is increases, the number of atoms is go on decreasing. That is a decay, decreasing, decaying only. Initially present number of atoms are 1000. After some time interval, let us consider maybe it is said to be 1 month after 1 month, after 1 day. Okay. Let us consider after 1 month, maybe this value, it may be equal to around about maybe 700 number of atoms will be remaining. Remaining number of atoms are 700. But here to here, decreased amount is equal to 300. Here, the decreased amount is equal to 300 atoms. Again, after 1 month, if I'm choosing, the number of atoms is not equal to 700. Here to here, the difference is 300. Here to here, you cannot say that one 300 will decrease. Therefore, remaining is equal to 400 here. You cannot say that. No, you cannot. So here, it may be equal to 600 atoms. Here, the number of decrease is equal to 100 atoms only. But every time as the time is increasing, the number of atoms remaining is gone decreasing only. Maybe again, after about 1 month, if I'm choosing, only an example this is only an example. Maybe you are going to get 550 atoms here. Here the decreased amount is equal to 50 only. Initially the decreased amount it was very large. Next 1 month it is decreased, smaller amount. Next 1 month again it is a small amount. But this decrease is directly proportional to at that time how many atoms are present. That is depending upon that, not depending upon this. So meaning this decrease is directly proportional to this number of atoms, how many they are present at that time. This decrease is directly proportional to number of atoms present at that time interval. This decrease is directly proportional to number of atoms present at that time interval. That is decay law. That is called by the name the decay law. As an example, let us consider here. Initially present number of atoms is equal to N0. N0 atoms it were present when the time is equal to 0. When the time is equal to 0, number of atoms present initially is equal to N0, like this. After some time interval, maybe time is equal to T. Let us consider 1 month, 1 day, 1 year. Time is equal to T. After a time interval of T here, the number of atoms present is equal to here N. N atoms are present. After again the time interval is equal to T here, the number of atoms present is equal to N1. Here to here, the decreased amount, the decay amount is said to be dN divided by dt. Here also, this decay, here also there is a decay. The decay amount here it is dN by dt. This decay amount is not proportional to this, but this decay amount directly proportional to this. This decay amount directly proportional to this. Similarly here, this is the decay amount directly proportional to this. This is the decay amount directly proportional to this. This decay amount directly proportional to this. This decay amount directly proportional to this. Therefore, according to radioactive decay law, it says that decay law. It says that the number of atoms disintegrated or decay, or I can say the rate of decay, is directly proportional to the number of atoms present at that time in the radioactive sample or radioactive material, you can write. This is the decay law. This carries 1 mark. State decay law, and hence derived. Like this, we are asking the question. State decay law. The question, 1 mark question, state decay law. The rate of decay is directly proportional to the number of atoms present at that time interval. Here, the decay amount is dN by dt. At that time, the number of atoms present is equal to n. Therefore, this decay rate is directly proportional to the number of atoms present at that instant. This decay directly proportional to this. That is the meaning. The rate of decay is directly proportional to the number of atoms present at that instant of time. At that time interval, how many atoms are present, it is depending upon that. So here, the rate of decay is equal to dn divided by dt. This is the rate of decay. This rate of decay is directly proportional to the number of atoms present at that instant of time. This radioactive decay is directly proportional to the number of atoms present at that instant. Therefore, I will write this is directly proportional to n. Therefore, dn by dt is directly proportional to n. Derivation started now. Almost we have started the derivation. It is an easy derivation if you know the concepts properly. dn by dt is the rate of decay, rate of disintegration. The rate of disintegration is directly proportional to the number of atoms present at that instant of time. At that instant of time, how many atoms are present, rate of decay, these two are directly proportional to each other. Therefore, dn by dt is directly proportional to n. As time is more and more and more, number of atoms is go on decreasing. Now, this one, just I will going to put an equal sign here. It is a proportionality sign. I will remove that and I will put an equal sign. Therefore, dn by dt is equal to a constant of proportionality, I suppose to write proportionality sign replaced by an equal sign multiplied by n, where this constant of proportionality is equal to minus lambda. We had to explain why there is minus and what is this lambda. So dn divided by dt is equal to minus lambda into n, where constant of proportionality is lambda. Then what is this negative sign indicate and what is that n? I mean lambda. Negative sign indicates as time increases, number of atoms decreases. Time increases, number of atoms, that is capital N, decreases. As the time is go on increases, the number of atoms n is go on decreasing like this. As the time is more and more and more, number of atoms remaining is said to be very less. Is go on decreasing only. Radioactivity cannot be increased. It is go on decreasing only. It will not increase at all. It is go on decreasing. And this lambda is called by the name. This lambda is called by the name decay constant. Different radioactive substances having different decay constant. It is also called by the name disintegration constant. Decay constant or disintegration constant. Lambda is called by the name the decay constant, or it is also called by the name disintegration constant, represented by lambda. It go on varies from one substance to another substance, means one radioactive material to another radioactive material. Therefore, we got dn by dt is equal to minus lambda into n, negative sign indicating as the time increases, number of atoms decreases, lambda representing for decay constant or disintegration constant. Therefore, we got dn by dt is equal to minus lambda into n. Now, I want to change it here. Here dn is there, here n is there, here dt is there, here lambda is there. I will take similar, whichever the terms are there, I will take it to one side. It's called by the name, under mathematics, this is called by the name separation of variables. Here n is a variable, here n is a variable, here time is the variable. I will take it together. dn is there, I will borrow n from here to here. dt, I will send it from here to here. Nothing else. N number of atoms, dn is also a small change in the number of atoms. dn is there divided by this n. I will borrow it from here to here. This dt I will borrow it from here to here. Just I will interchange n position and dt position. Just I will interchange these two. So what is happening? Next step. So we know that dn by dt is equal to minus lambda into n. You have to give the explanation what is that negative sign and what is that lambda. Now I said this n I will borrow it here. dn divided by n is equal to minus lambda into dt. Now I have to integrate on both the sides. Integrating on both the sides. Let us integrate on both the sides. As you are integrating on both the sides, integration of, this is integral symbol, integration of dn divided by n is equal to integration of minus lambda into dt. Integration already I taught even yesterday and today in the beginning, again I have shown it. What are the values for all these things? This can also be written as 1 by n dn. They are one and the same. This and this, they are one and the same. That is equal to minus lambda is a constant. I will take it outside. Integration of dt I will write. I explained already about these integrations. That is mathematical integration that we had to do. Integration of 1 by n dn is equal to log n to the base e. Answer for this. Differentiation of this is equal to this. Integration of this is equal to this. Integration and differentiation are the reverse processes. That is equal to minus lambda into integration of dt is t. Integration is over. But once integration is over here, since it is not having the limits here, upper limit, lower limit, it is not mentioned here. It is an indefinite integral. It is not a definite integral. Definite integral means it must be having the lower limit and upper limit. But it is not a definite integral. It is an indefinite integral. Since it is an indefinite integral here, we are supposed to write a constant of proportionality that may be k or maybe c. Where the c or k, whatever we are writing, this is called by the name constant of integration. This constant of integration we are supposed to write if there is no limits. If there is a limit is there, constant of integration we should not write. It is a constant of integration. I supposed to determine how much is equal to this. This is, I will take it as equation number 1. Now I supposed to determine how much is the value of c, constant of integration. I supposed to do the substitution for this. Using the boundary condition, meaning using the initial conditions, we had to calculate c value is how much. What is that initial condition? Initial condition in the sense where we have started, we had to go back. There is an initial condition. When the time is equal to 0, number of atoms present is equal to n0. When the time is equal to 0, number of atoms present is equal to n0. Don't forget. As the time is more and more and more, number of atoms decreasing is more and more and more. Remaining amount is very less after some sufficiently a lengthy time interval. This is a concept we have to learn. And apply this idea here. When the time is equal to 0, initially present number of atoms is equal to n0. That I will going to use it here. When the time is equal to 0, the number of atoms present, that is n, is equal to n0. N is equal to n0 when time is equal to 0. When we have started in the beginning, n is equal to n0. Afterwards, n is not equal to n0. It is always lesser than n0. n0 is a large value, n is go on decreasing as the time is more and more and more. This is the meaning. When the time is equal to 0, number of atoms present is equal to initially present number of atoms, that value is equal to n. Substitute these ideas here. Therefore, wherever n is there, I will put n naught. Log n naught to the base e is equal to minus lambda into t value is equal to 0. Substitution, you have to put it here. Plus c, I suppose to determine, I will write that. Therefore, log n naught to the base e is equal to, this value is equal to 0 plus c. Therefore, we got the answer for c here. C is equal to how much? C is equal to log n naught to the base e. This is the value of c. We found out the value of c here. Constant of integration, how much is set to existing? That one we found it here. We have calculated the value of c, that is constant of integration, is equal to this. Substitute all these things in equation number 1. Therefore, equation number 1 becomes, just carefully you see that. I will continue, but before that, once you go through that, any doubt is there, afterwards you can ask. Okay. Yes. Equation number 1. This is equation number 1. I will going to substitute these values here. Equation number 1 becomes log n, as it is we had to write. Don't put n naught here. N naught we had to put using the boundary condition, initial condition, to calculate c. Once the c value we got it here, don't put n is equal to n naught. This is an equation. This equation becomes n only is equal to minus lambda t. Don't put t is equal to 0 here also again. Lambda t plus c value already we got. This value I supposed to do the substitution here. Plus log n naught to the base e. This one I will send it to the other side of the equation. Positive will be becoming negative. Therefore, log n to the base e minus log n naught to the base e. This one plus log n naught to the base e, if it goes to the other side of this equation, you will get a negative sign, is equal to minus lambda into t. Okay. So therefore, we know that log a minus log b is equal to log of a divided by b. We know about this. Log a divided by b is equal to log a minus log b. This is a formula. If I'm writing log n divided by n naught, can be written as log n minus log n naught. Log n minus log n naught can also be written as log of n divided by n naught. Basic logarithms, log of a by b is equal to log a minus log b. Log of n divided by n naught is equal to log n minus log n. Therefore, this can be written as, according to logarithms, log n divided by n naught, base e only I will write, is equal to minus lambda t. Log a minus log b is equal to log of a divided by b. Okay. Yes. Now, we got the answer. What is that? Derivation is not yet over. So we got the answer. Log to the base e n divided by n naught is equal to minus lambda t. This is an equation, we got it here. Same thing that I have written here. So log of n divided by n naught is equal to minus lambda into t. Now let us use again logarithms concept. I want to remove these logarithms. If I'm removing logarithms, this base, whatever it is present, it will go here and this will go to the power of that. Therefore, I can write n divided by n naught is equal to e goes here, power minus lambda t. If you are having a confusion, I will write it here. Let me choose this. N by n naught is equal to e to the power minus lambda t. I will take the logarithm on both the sides. Taking logarithm on both the sides. Therefore, log to the base e n divided by n naught is equal to log to the base e to the power minus lambda t. This is log n divided by n naught to the base e as it is equal to minus lambda t log e to the base e. Log e to the base e, base is same, number is also same, that therefore that value is equal to 1. Therefore that is equal to minus lambda t. Therefore log of n divided by n naught to the base e can also be written as log of n divided by n naught to the base e is equal to minus lambda t. See that? This can also be written like this according to your logarithms. Therefore, if I'm removing logarithm here, the base, whatever it is present here, it will goes here and it will goes to the power of that. Therefore, n by n naught is equal to e to the power minus lambda t. How we got? I have written that in a reverse way. This is an answer, we got it here now. I will cross multiply here. Therefore, n is equal to n naught e to the power minus lambda t. This is said to be the equation that we require, where n is the number of atoms present after a time interval of t. N naught is equal to initially present number of atoms, where of course, what is that n? Number of atoms present after a time t, that is. After a time t, how many atoms are present? That is equal to n. N naught, initially present number of atoms. Initially present the number of atoms, meaning when time interval is equal to 0. Lambda is said to be decay constant or disintegration constant. Lambda is the decay constant or disintegration constant. Expression is over. Now physical significance we had to write. Otherwise we are losing 1 mark for the physical significance. What is that? So meaning of this concept is we had to show it by a graph also. This is a graph we are supposed to write. This is the time interval. This is the number of atoms. Number of atoms present after a time interval t. This is initially present number of atoms. I will take it as n naught. Initially present when the time is equal to 0 here. This is time is equal to 0. Initially present number of atoms is n naught. As the time is more and more, number of atoms possessing is go on decreasing. Like this. Decreasing only. It will reach to the x-axis here only at a long time interval. Uranium, if you are considering, it will reach to 0 only at a very long time interval. I can consider that one as infinite time interval. This graph representing n is equal to n naught e to the power minus lambda. What is that significance? as time increases here, number of atoms decreases exponentially. We have to write the number of atoms in a radioactive substance decreases because e to the power is there, e to the power. Therefore, we had to write exponentially. The number of atoms in a radioactive substance decreases exponentially with time. We had to write. That is the meaning of this graph. So meaning, as the time increases, number of atoms, you will not get back the original number. You are going to get always the lesser and lesser and lesser. When the time is equal to infinite time interval, then only the number of atoms decreases to zero. This is a problem in the case of nuclear physics idea. That is the meaning, if a nuclear bomb is exploded, nuclear fission bomb is exploded, uranium bomb is exploded, then the number of atoms in the beginning is go on decreasing. Radiation, the beginning decreases fast, then slowly, then slowly, then slowly, then very slowly. The radiation is equal to zero at an infinite time interval. Therefore, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, whatever the bomb it has been blasted, still the radiations are occurring. Still the radiation, how long it is existing? How long the earth is present, radiations are almost it is existing. Therefore, the explosion of a nuclear bomb is very dangerous. It's very dangerous to the mankind. How long it is said to be existing? How long the generations are present? Okay, the radiations are go on present. But initially, the number of atoms is equal to n0. In the beginning, the number of atoms decreases very quickly, then slowly, then very slowly, then very, very, very slowly. It is going to get reached to the x-axis here, means it will reach to the time axis here only at an infinite time interval. It will reach here, it will reach us here at an infinite time interval. Okay, understood? These are the concept. We had to write it here. If you are writing this much, you will get 5 marks for this. Okay, state radioactive decay law. Derive n is equal to n0 into e to the power minus lambda t, where symbols have their usual meaning. This is a question that we are going to frame. Okay, almost 1 minute time is there. So anybody wants to have a comment, you can. Tomorrow we are meeting at 8 o'clock. Just I will go into. I want to ask the question. You can. Very important thing. So go through all these things. How many latecomers don't do that exactly at 8 o'clock? I have waited up to 8 10 now.